Hey guys, Jurassic here, and I'm back once again, and I'm gonna review GMK this time, aka Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Jeez, that's a long title. Anyways, so yeah, I'm here reviewing this movie. I just came back from watching it like about an hour ago, and I'm actually doing a back-to-back video. This is my second video that I'm uploading today. I had recently uploaded this video right here, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, so go check that out, and go check out my other reviews of Godzilla 2000, Godzilla 2, and soon we're going to touch on the Kiryu Saga movies and Godzilla Final Wars. So stay tuned for those reviews, and go check out my other reviews that I already did. And right now we're going to talk about Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack, or GMK. But before we get into that, I did want to tell you that I couldn't film a review of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla yesterday because I had to go somewhere. So I filmed that review and this one right now on the same day. So it's a back-to-back video, like I already said. So expect to see these two videos get uploaded at roughly the same time. But with that out of the way, let's talk about GMK. So the plot of the movie: Godzilla is basically came back to Japan. Is now possessed by the demonic, restless souls of all the people that died during World War II, and the souls of the dead are now possessing Godzilla to attack Japan once again for forgetting its imperial past. Meanwhile, three guardian monsters, which are Mothra, Baragon, and King Ghidorah, all wake up to fight Godzilla and protect Japan, from Godzilla. That's the plot of the movie. And right off the bat, I really like this movie. This movie, which is right here, I really like this movie. This movie was such a blast to watch. I really like the mythical and the spiritual direction it went. It's a very radical reinterpretation of Godzilla. Godzilla is now basically this badass monster that is possessed by the, restless souls of all the people that were killed by the Japanese army during World War II, and is now coming back to destroy Japan. Not only for revenge, but for also, well, we're gonna get to that. So yeah, attacks Japan for revenge. We also have Mothra, Baragon, and King Ghidorah. They're all guardian monsters that were all destined to fight and destroy Godzilla in order to protect Japan. So I really bought into that. I really bought into the mythical and that whole spiritual, reinterpretation of the kaiju. Like, I really like how they, balance out tradition and, well, the new elements of this movie. I really like that. And I really like Godzilla in this movie. Godzilla, is designed as a callback to the original Godzilla. I really like his origins. I really like his backstory. Everything about him. Like, this Godzilla, the GMK Godzilla, he's such a badass, bro. He's able to destroy the military like that. Faster than Thanos can snap his fingers and wipe out half the universe. Literally, Godzilla can destroy a whole army faster than Thanos can snap his fingers. Anyways, he's able to destroy the army like that, and he's a thinking monster too. Like, and I really hate it when people say Godzilla is such a dumb monster. He's able to, he doesn't think. He has no personality. He's just a big dumb monster. No, dude, Godzilla in this movie right here, he's a smartass. Like, he knows, when a kaiju is gonna attack him. He can even kill you, when you're not even near him. Like, that's how badass this Godzilla is. And this is one of my favorite Godzilla designs too. He's got that nice callback to the first Godzilla movie. He's got that dinosaurian look to him. I also like the spines on him. Like, unlike these two Godzilla movies right here, go watch the review of this one that I posted recently. Unlike those two Godzilla movies, where he was green and he had those giant, purple spines, and he breathes orange atomic breath. Here, he's a full-on classic Godzilla, with the white spines and the charcoal skin color and the blue atomic breath. But the most notable thing about him, aside from his origins, are that his eyes are white. His eyes are pure white, and that's to show that he is possessed by the souls of the people that died during World War II, as I already mentioned. And landing on that topic right there, I do like that. I like how they explain it. Like, this old guy, if you've seen the movie, like, I think you already know, where the main human characters, they interview this old guy who is like who's like a watcher, I guess. He's like the guy that, warns people of Japan that Godzilla is going to attack, and these three guardian monsters are going to come and protect Japan. He's the guy that explains through exposition that this Godzilla is out for vengeance. He's out because Japan is not. Japan just doesn't care about the past. You know, Japan just wants to ignore. Like you see this in the movie. It's showcased in the movie what the humans do. You know, to ancient statues, and you know, where the Japan just doesn't care about the past. You know, it just wants to forget about all the horrific things it did back in World War II. And Godzilla is now coming back and is bringing. You know, is now. Reincarnated. They even imply that this Godzilla is the original Godzilla. They never say outright, but they imply that this Godzilla right here is the original Godzilla, the 1954 Godzilla, but reincarnated by the souls of the dead people, and that they're bringing him back so that he can destroy Japan and teach Japan a lesson that you know, that you've chosen to forget the past and you've chosen not to like accept what you did back, you know, back then. And that's like a theme. That's like a major theme that plays in this movie, you know, respecting the past. And I like how it's played. I like how it doesn't hit you in the face with that, but it makes you think. And that's one thing I really do like about this movie. It helps you think, you know, you're not just having a blast with the kaiju fights and with the plot, you know, it helps you think about it, you know, and inspires you to think, you know. And speaking of the other kaiju, as I already mentioned, the other kaiju are very well designed too. Baragon, he's pretty cool. I like him. He kind of reminds me of Pokemon. Like the way he's designed and the way he's stylized is, honestly, it does remind me of Pokemon. Like I don't know if it's just me, but this movie is a Godzilla Pokemon movie. If you kind of think about it, I don't know, just the way it's stylized, just the way, you know, it looks. It reminds me of a Pokemon movie in some ways. But yeah, the kaiju are very well designed. Mothra's design is pretty cool too. Compared to the Heisei design, the Heisei design had these weird chicken-looking legs that just didn't look that good. And she looked too fluffy in the Heisei. Here, she looks a lot better. Like she actually looks like an insect. Like she actually does look good, you know. And she's basically a guardian monster. She's a folkloric entity, if I'm saying that right. And King Ghidorah is probably the biggest change of the three, because he's a good guy, and he's about the same size as Godzilla. You know, normally Ghidorah is the bad guy, and he's from outer space, but here he's basically an ancient monster, you know, from Earth, you know, who was made to protect the Earth from Godzilla, basically. Like, but it works. Like, that's the thing I will say, that it does all those changes, but those changes do affect the plot. They do, you know, do something worthwhile with those changes. In fact, that's something that the anime trilogy, if you've seen the anime Godzilla trilogy, it just doesn't do. It makes Godzilla a planet. It makes Mechagodzilla into this giant city. It makes King Ghidorah into this weird spaghetti snake thing from outer space. But it doesn't do anything good with those changes. Like, they just make those changes just to make it a different movie, and they don't do anything good with those changes. And that's why the anime trilogy fails at, you know, being distinct. It fails at being a truly different yet faithful movie. This movie, meanwhile, it's different, yeah, but it's a lot more faithful. It's a lot more, you know, it balances itself out. So I think we've talked enough about the kaiju. I think the human element we got to go into. So the human element is fine. I don't think it's that bad. Not as bad as other Godzilla movies. You know, I would say it's fine. You know, some of the acting is a little over the top. I will say. So it's and they don't quite explain. I don't think the human characters are given enough characterization. I know they are, but like, it's probably just me though, and it's probably just me not giving a shit about the human characters. But like, I don't think they're given enough characterization, because maybe except for a few human characters, I legitimately enjoyed watching. But everybody else is just kind of there, like, basically. And that's normally the thing you see in Godzilla movies. Human characters are just there to continue the plot. I would say here in GMK, I would say one or two human characters that I genuinely enjoyed watching. So yeah. Now, is this movie perfect? It's not quite a perfect movie. Like I said, human characters aren't fleshed out. Some of these special effects. Now, I will get to the positive of the special effects. Don't worry, I will get there. Some of the effects are they're a little jarring. They don't quite explain some things though. For example, the guardian monsters, Mothra, Baragon, and King Ghidorah, they're mentioned to be guardian monsters, but that's kind of it though. We're not given any insight of their origins or like something like that. I don't think they quite explain things quite well, and it does take a little bit of a while to get to the final battle, because the final battle is just, it's just awesome. I love the final battle. It's visually impressive. I really like the visuals of the final battle. The effects are great. And believe it or not, I believe this movie was directed by the same guy who directed the Gamera trilogy of the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the comments if I'm right. But I believe this movie was directed by the same guy who directed the Gamera trilogy of the 1990s. And yeah, you can see, like, this movie, has some really, really good visuals. It has some really good effects. The monster designs and the monster action. It's just nonstop entertaining. I just loved it. Like, this movie is just awesome. I like GMK. I loved it. It's definitely one of the best Godzilla movies I've seen. It's definitely in my top 10, I should add. It's not perfect, like I said. I already explained some of the criticisms, like the flawed characterization of the human characters, something that they couldn't quite explain. Some of the acting is a little jarring. Some of the effects are a little jarring too, at times, I would say. It does take a little while to get there. It is a slow build up to the monster, big battle monster action, I would say. But yeah, overall, I really like GMK. Like, I even like the direction it went, with how they interpreted the monsters, as folklore entities, and Godzilla being the vessel of souls that died in World War II, or the souls of the people that died during World War II. Like, I really liked that. I really bought into that. Like, and it worked in this movie. And I already discussed the themes. I like the themes of respecting the past and how Godzilla, attacks Japan because of what it did in the past, and how it chooses to forget about it. I like that. I like how it inspired you to think, and it doesn't just hit you in the head with that. So I like that. And I think there's one more thing I want to do. If y'all have seen the Godzilla 2 trailer, which I imagine all of you have, I've seen it. I really love the Godzilla 2 trailer. You'll notice it has some similarities with GMK. The fact that King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan, well, Baragon and GMK and Rodan in the Monsterverse, Godzilla 2, they both have folkloric, mythological entities, that originate from Earth, and that we have Godzilla, also as a folkloric entity. In the GMK version, of course, he's possessed by souls, while in the Monsterverse, he's a giant dinosaur. The fact that they both fight, a lot of the things, I do notice some similarities with GMK and Godzilla 2, Godzilla King of the Monsters, even though that movie hasn't came out yet, and I'm just basing it on the trailers and the marketing. But yeah, it seems like Godzilla 2 is taking elements of GMK, and I like that. And I really like how American kaiju movies, especially the Monsterverse, is taking influences, with the Japanese Godzilla movies. I really like that. Now, I don't know if it's just me though, but I do notice those similarities right there. So yeah, I think that's about it. I really like GMK. It's a very enjoyable movie, flawed sure, but I really like this is a movie I would definitely, want in my collection. This movie right here. So yeah, I would give it, on a scale of 1 to 10, a 7.8 out of 10. Like I said, it's not quite a perfect movie, but it is a fun ride, start to finish, and for the most part, I loved everything about it. So I would highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, I would strongly recommend you watch GMK. And yeah, that's about it. That's my review. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Don't forget to comment, like, and hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for my next reviews. Next time, we're going to review the Kira movies right here. And we're going to, last but not least, review Final Wars. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys later.